Hey everyone, welcome back. It's finally November, and that means it's time for a brand new journaling setup. This month, I went for something warm, cozy, and full of energy. Bonfire Night. I wanted to capture that feeling of crisp air, glowing skies, and little bursts of light that made November feel so alive. So today, I'll take you through the whole setup from my detailed cover page inspired by Parliament Square and fireworks, all the way to my gratitude, brain dump, and tracker spreads for the month. Grab your favorite pens, maybe a hot drink, and let's dive straight into this month's spread. Alright, let's get into the cover page because I spent so long on this, and honestly, I'm so proud of how it turned out. So, along the bottom, I've painted Parliament Square and I wanted it to feel like you're standing right there on a November night. A little cold, a little smoky, with that deep golden light glowing against the old stone. I skipped the fine liner completely this time. Instead, I went straight in with my markers, warm browns and muted greens, and just built up everything in loose, soft layers. No harsh outlines, just shapes and shadows. It gives the whole scene this slightly hazy, nostalgic look, like the buildings are wrapped in a bit of mist or drifting smoke from nearby bonfires. I started with a wash of light brown, then deepened certain spots with darker tones to create those little windows on the buildings. And I used the green to colour in some bridges and some domes as well, just so that it wouldn't look too basic and the look would really pull together. What I love most, however, about this set is that every stroke feels alive. The buildings aren't perfect, they're a little uneven, but that's what makes them feel real. You get the sense that they've seen countless bonfire nights before, crowds gathered, fireworks bursting above, that same glowing sky reflected in the windows. There's just something so peaceful about drawing and colouring in city silhouettes like this. It's busy, but it's calm. You've got all this detail happening at the bottom, but the top half, the sky, is just waiting to explode with colour. And as I was drawing the buildings, I couldn't help but think about the history behind Bonfire Night. It's such a strange mix of celebration and reflection. And so I'll tell you all, just for those who don't know. It all goes back to 1605, when Guy Fawkes and a group of conspirators tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament. They wanted to overthrow the government, but the plot was discovered before it could happen. And to celebrate the king's survival, people lit bonfires all across London, and that tradition's been carried on ever since. So every year on November 5th, we light fires and watch fireworks, not just for spectacle, but as a centuries old reminder of resilience, chaos, and renewal. There's something kind of poetic about that, watching the sky burn bright over the same city that inspired it all. Anyways, I finally moved on to the lettering, and obviously, because I don't want everything to clash too much, I'm only going to be using a fine liner to write it all up. Once the building and the lettering was done, I then started to work on the fireworks. And oh my gosh, this part was so fun. I went with a palette of red, orange, and yellow to keep the theme of Bonfire Night grounded. Again, building up soft, layered bursts across the sky. I decided to put down the fireworks in layers. First orange, then red, then yellow. Kind of a random order, but it looked oh so lively and lovely as well. In order to make my life a little bit easier after all the hard work that I'd done on the background, I thought that instead of painting on every single line of the fireworks, I would just use the cardboard, and it made it so much easier had made the final outcome so much more better. But still, the fireworks were missing something. And the best part of all of this, to make it shine, I decorated each of them with fine lines of gold paint mixed with some gold glitter as well. Because why not add some more? Anyways, I used that paint to draw lines outwards from the center of each firework so that it would give them a nice glow. And now, when the light hits, the gold absolutely shimmers. It's subtle on camera, but in person it's got that magic, like real sparks frozen mid-air. And that's my front cover. Now, let's move into the rest of the setup. All my functional spreads that keep me grounded and creative throughout the month. First up, my gratitude page. I kept it kind of simple, but not extremely simple. Because, as we all know by now, simple isn't really my style. So, as you can see, I've drawn the outline of the heading in black line pen. But that's not going to be it. As I did with my front cover page, I'm also going to make a background on the lettering with fireworks. Again, they're going to be orange, red, and yellow with little touches of golden. I love filling this page in slowly throughout the month. One line a day, little things that made me smile. But I also need a safe space to write out my thoughts. Next up, and well done if you guessed correctly, it's my brain dump. I always think of this one as a creative catch-all. I can throw ideas, tasks, doodles, random notes, anything that's buzzing in my head. But this spread, again, I did the same thing. Black lettering with a nice firework background. The fireworks really tie the whole look together with the theme of Bonfire Night. And they keep the energy running throughout the layout. Then I've got my mood tracker and my habit tracker. For the mood tracker, again, I drew the same black lettering at the top, and then I would fill it up with fireworks later on. But this time, I also drew a small key next to the lettering. A smiley face, a sad face, and an angry face. And used colours to code all of them. Yellow for happy, orange for sad, and red for angry. And later on, instead of using some basic circles or squares, I decided to use the same fireworks and in those colours. Yellow for happy, orange for sad, and red for angry. And I would write the dates in later on. And on the second page, I've got my habit tracker. And I've done it in the same way that I've done my mood tracker. The same black lettering, firework background, and the firework boxes for each habit. And next, last but not least, as you all know, my favourite, the reading log. Because cozy nights and good books go hand in hand this time of the year. I kept this one, again, the same as the others. Black lettering at the top with a nice firework background and lots of space to fill out my thoughts on the books that I will read this month. And that's it. My full November journaling setup, inspired by Bonfire Night. It's definitely one of my favourite themes that I've done this year. Cozy, bright, and full of warmth, and a little bit of mess as well. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and try not to miss any of our fun videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a beautiful November, and remember to take a moment to enjoy the sparks. Bye!